You know what's crazy? Obviously, it was extremely fun to watch Jacksonville beat Kansas City because when your team is really bad and you don't have much to look forward to in terms of what they do, you got to latch on to other matchups to give you that serotonin and that sense of happiness when you want to watch football. And watching the Chiefs lose, obviously not as good as watching the Raiders win, still pretty good. The only bad thing about that game that kind of, entered my brain as I was watching it, as I realized, wow, Jacksonville might actually be able to pull this off, is that Liam Cohen is 4-1. Liam Cohen could be 5-0 if they figured out a way to beat Jake Browning. Ben Johnson has 2 wins, one over us. Obviously, Anthony Lynn not going great in New York, but they lost a lot of close games. Schottenheimer is a very good coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And Pete Carroll is 1-4. Same record as Kellen Moore in New Orleans. Now, nobody thought, that's not true. I should take that back a little bit. A lot of us thought we were going to win 7 to 9 games, right around there. It's going to be a building block year, but everybody said the same thing, even if people didn't think we were going to win that many games, mainstream media or fans. We all said the same thing. They're going to be a pain in the butt to play. They're going to grind you out. They're going to be competitive. So far, through 5 games, we have looked every bit as bad, if not as worse, than last year with Antonio Pierce and Gardner Minshew. And to me, I'm trying my best here to find answers, right? It's easy now to be like, yeah, we always knew we were going to be this bad. It's like, no, you didn't. Of course, there's a few people that are like, check the comments. It's like, okay, well, you were being pretty negative. For the people who even had us winning 6 or 7 games, you didn't think it was going to look like this. You didn't think Geno Smith was going to lead the league in interceptions through 9 games. You didn't think there was going to be fights in the locker room or whatever that is. I don't know how substantial those reports are. I'm not going to talk about it until Ian Rappaport tweets it out. Where are the answers? I can't just come on here and complain. Is the answer Chip Kelly? Well, some people have started to talk about that, so let's talk about it right here. We're going to get into the Chip Kelly of it all. I got an article here that breaks down a little bit of the offensive woes. Because Geno Smith, how do you go from being a pretty decent quarterback to forgetting how to play football overnight? I don't know. So maybe let's try to find some answers. Before I do that, I do need to tell you about the sponsor for this video, DraftKings. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the NFL season is already a quarter of the way done, which means the cream of the crop in terms of the best teams and players are rising to the top. And now is the best time to get involved in the betting scene, and now you can with our channel sponsorship, DraftKings Sportsbook. The promo that we have for you today is that new customers bet $5, and if that bet wins, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets, and all you have to do is download the DraftKings app, sign up, and use the promo code ALLaBorde. With every week that passes, the more information we gather about these different teams, how well they're playing, how bad they're playing against certain matchups, what the weather's going to be like. All this information can help you create the perfect parlay or bet on games live as they happen. And I know what you're thinking, what if DraftKings isn't available in my state? That's okay, you can still get in on all the action with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. Okay, so let's try to find some answers here. ESPN Insider says NFL people blame Chip Kelly for Raiders' offensive issues. And you know what's funny? You know what's really funny? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen right now. Here it is. But actually, let's go back to me. You know what's really funny? Not a lot of Brendan Carroll talk these days. Of course, when there's not one thing, there's another thing that we jump to. And look, I'm jumping to it too. Like, we need to find the answers. But, of course, Brendan Carroll has just Homer Simpsoned into the bushes. Which, if whatever. It is what it is. Okay. So NFL Insider says Pete Carroll is to blame. So let's see what Raiders beat has to say. Geno Smith is having arguably The worst season of his NFL career, and the Raiders may be a week or two from turning to Kenny Pickett. How did this happen? Well, let's see. Through the first 5 weeks of the season, Smith has made uncharacteristically bad decisions and leads the league in interceptions with 9. The veteran quarterback has rarely looked comfortable in game situations and hasn't performed anything like he was in Seattle. While the coaching staff in Las Vegas is working hard to find a solution, ESPN's Dan Graziano says there aren't many around the league who have come away impressed with Chip Kelly's scheme. What I'm hearing from a lot of people around the league is that an offensive coordinator Chip Kelly's scheme isn't creating enough advantages to overcome the Raiders' personnel deficiencies, and there's no margin for error for Smith if Smith keeps turning the ball over as much as he does. At a reported $6 million per year, Kelly is the highest-paid offensive coordinator in the NFL, and don't be surprised if he becomes a focal point of criticisms in weeks ahead. Kelly was called out by a few analysts in the first month of the season, and there's been some behind-the-scenes finger-pointing as well. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith have taken most of the heat lately, but Kelly might be the one to watch going forward. There are strong opinions on Kelly around the league, and some believe he's the most overrated offensive coach in sports. If the Raiders don't improve on offense, it would be a surprise to see Carroll take the side of his $60 million offensive coordinator over his hand-picked quarterback who cost the team a third-round pick and at least $66.5 million in guaranteed money. Keep an eye on Chip Kelly's storyline because they might be getting ready to pick some serious momentum. Prior to the Raiders' Week 3 game against the Washington Commanders, former NFL tight end Logan Paulson talked about Kelly's offense, and he was specific about why he doesn't like Kelly's scheme at the NFL level. This is going to sound mean, but I don't want it to be in a mean way. This feels like a very college-y offense, Paulson said. It's the spacing, the formation, the distribution. It all feels very college-y. One of the things in college, you have these wide receivers, they have wider hash marks. You have these wider hash marks. When you run your RPOs, when you run your little bubble screen, when you run that, the seam that gets picked off against the Chargers, that works when you're in college. When you're on the left hash and the safety has to cover all this ground to get over the top of the 3-receiver set. Here, because of the hash marks, the safeties have to cover less ground. The linebackers don't have to displace for the RPOs. You're running, and then that guy's unblocked, and he ends up making the tackle because not only is he closer, but the guys in the NFL, linebackers, particularly secondary players, strong safeties, hook players are way, way faster. I do think that's the simplistic element to the run game. Yeah. So, that's a problem. Now, I'm torn because... No, I'm not torn. You know what it is? I just figured it out. We're just not very good. Like, if you fire Chip Kelly, that doesn't make up for the bad offensive line play. If you put JPJ at center, that doesn't mean that Geno Smith isn't going to all of a sudden not throw any more interceptions. If you start Kenny Pickett, that doesn't mean that Dante Thorne is going to become a better route runner. It just so happens that of all the things that I said, now remember, I said this before the season starts. The way you exceed expectations is by having your young guys step up. And right now, it's Ash and Genty, and that's it. I don't want to hear Darian Porter's looked good in blowouts. That doesn't matter to me. Just like people were saying last year, oh, the offensive line was really good last year. Right? Yeah, when we beat Jacksonville. Who cares? I want to see what these guys look like when the game's on the line. And right now, Darian Porter and Jack Besh, for whatever reason, they haven't exceeded expectation. Now, they're young, and we got to give them as much time as they need. Ashton Genty's been as advertised. Brock's been hurt. Michael Mayer's been hurt, right? Geno Smith has been terrible. Chip Kelly now in his formations, $6 million to run college-style formations. And I wanted to talk about Chip Kelly today because I had a thought watching what was it? I think it was the Seahawks-Bucks game, right? Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Those two offenses have like the most easy 5-yard gains you've ever seen in your life. It's like they know what the defense is in. They call a play. They motion somebody. Sam Darnold will hike the ball, take one step back, hit the guy on a slant for 5 yards. They have these easy little quick hitters from under center, and everything we do seems to be like the hardest thing of all time. Like, we have like 3rd and 2s, and it's like fake pitch over here. Geno flips his hips the other way. Jacoby does like this reach around route, and he's got to throw it perfectly. It's like, can we just get 2 yards? Like, I'm a big Penn State fan. Obviously, I went there, and I'm dealing with a lot of shit with both teams that I root for. But the thing that frustrates me about how they treat Drew Aller is when he hikes the ball, it's like 9 different things that he has to do before making the read. It's like hike the ball, fake behind the back pass, look over here, bubble screen there. Here's Tyler Warren up the seam. Well, not Tyler Warren this year, but Tyler Warren last year. Here's like a hook. And like, it's like, can he just like go under center, take a 5-step drop, read the defense, and make a play? Like multiple interceptions that Geno has thrown have been on these like, oh, the ball's going this way, boom, intercepted. Why can't we strip this down and be a normal offense? I'm all for being creative. Ben Johnson is one of the most creative guys in the league. But he has these easy 3-step drop, quick hitters. And then he infuses it with creativity and the talent that he has. For me, it feels like Chip Kelly wants to outsmart everyone. Now, I understand that angle from Chip Kelly because, like that article said, we don't have the offensive firepower of the Philadelphia Eagles or the Detroit Lions. We've got some weapons and we've got some young guys. And it didn't help Chip Kelly, just like last year, it didn't help Luke Getsy that we lost one of our tight ends because I'm sure 12 personnel was going to be a big focal point. And Ian Thomas is not that good. When you have Brock and Michael Mayer, like we did in week 1, it's a lot easier to block it up and to go play action, right? So I do give Chip Kelly a pass in that regard for planning on having 2 tight ends, and now you don't. But when you try to outsmart people and you don't have veterans in those positions, it's going to be a disaster. If you're throwing everything at Jack Besh and Dante Thorin and Ashton Genty and they make mistakes, that's to be expected. You have to find a way, and this is what Pete Carroll preached, and it feels like Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll are on different sides of this. Pete Carroll preached, let the young guys do what they do well, so by the end of the season, they feel confident enough to do things that they don't do well, that they will do well at the end of the season. Right now, it feels like we're trying to be like David Blaine and do a bunch of magic and look over here while we go over here, little Magic Johnson. And, bro, we're not the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, line up in single eye formation. Let Ashton Genty stand up. Give me some 2 tight end sets. Give me some slants and some crossers and a screen pass every now and again. I don't need all this RPO, zigzag, Madden 25, playbook, roster nonsense. And here's the thing. We played the Tennessee Titans. Do I expect to win that game? No, I don't. I don't expect to win any other game the rest of the year until they show me massive levels of improvement. And that's what I'm going to say right now. I don't give a flying dragon if we win this game by a possession. The only way you will have me get excited about this game is if they destroy the Tennessee Titans. This is akin to after we lost to the Vikings 3-0 with Antonio Pierce. And then the next game we put up 63 on the Los Angeles Chargers. If we go out there and absolutely obliterate Cam Ward and Callahan and the Tennessee Titans, okay, then that's a building block, and then we go to Arrowhead. They'll probably be 2-4 as well if they lose to Detroit. If we win, we'll be 2-4. But if we win by like a field goal or like a defensive stand, holy hell, do I not care at all. Like, that doesn't move the needle for me at all. Let's see how the young guys develop. Jack Besh looked better Sunday. Still feels like Sunday to me. And Chip Kelly, dude, like, relax. Just, like, take what's given. Tell Geno to take what's given. You can run the football. Even if you're down, just run the football. And, you know, the reason why I had confidence in Chip Kelly coming into the season is because we weren't asking him to be the head coach. He's had success at every level as the offensive coordinator. But when you put that Raider uniform on, something happens to you mentally that is that's supernatural, and it's not to be explained. But here we are. So what do you guys think? Is it Chip Kelly? Is it Geno? Is it the line? Is it the receivers? Is it all the above? It's probably all the above, and it's probably unfair to single out one person. But hey, we got to make videos, so that's what we do here at this channel. If you like what you see here, shout out to my $5 and $10 pages and my YouTube members. All that stuff is linked below, along with DraftKings and my Discord, which is completely free. Please be sure to subscribe. It is free out, no charge to you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.